All right, I'm here with Mollie Beaver and her mom Darcy. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Good.
So can you just tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. I was born and raised in Wichita, Kansas. I grew up going to Andover.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Cottonwood and then Andover Middle and then Andover
Mm-hmm.
High. And my sophomore years, I transferred to Trinity Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I'm a junior now, and yeah, when I was 8, I started singing and performing, and kind of got into the music scene
Mm-hmm.
around then. So it's been a good journey ever since then.
Cool. Yeah, so that's kind of why we're here. Just talk about kind of your career so far and where it's going to take you. So you just talk a little about like what got you into singing, playing music or instruments. What got you into that, and what all do you play?
Honestly, I kind of just always knew that I liked music.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I used to sing around the house, and so I got interested in it, and I was like, I want voice lessons. So
Mm-hmm.
at age 8, that's when I actually started taking voice lessons, and then I took guitar lessons along with it.
Okay.
And that's also when I first started performing, you could say, and I just loved it. And I honestly, learning instruments was difficult, but I'm so thankful that
Yeah.
I learned them because it's worth it in the long run. And at age 11, I started piano, and so I was doing guitar and piano, and then I randomly wanted to play a ukulele.
Hey, I think it kind of goes in with guitar, right?
It does. And I thought it's so cute, and I was like, I just want to be able to play those songs. So anyway, I got one of those, and it was very helpful that I had guitar in my brain, because then you already have calloused fingers and all that. And so and actually this year there was an opportunity where one of our friends, they were giving a violin away.
Oh wow.
And so I had always wanted to play violin. It was like, I don't know why, as a kid I was like, this is like my dream instrument to learn how to do. So we took it, and I've been starting lessons this year, and I love it.
Which one's the hardest?
Oh, I don't know. They're hard for different reasons, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know. Right now, for me, a violin is just because it's new, and unlike the guitar and ukulele, it doesn't have frets, which are the lines.
Right, yeah.
So it's all muscle memory.
Wow, that would be a little more difficult.
It is, yeah. So it's just basically repetition, and yeah.
Yeah. Violin seems like it'd be way more difficult. I play guitar a little bit, I dabble, so if I had played since I first started, I'd be slash. I mean, I started in 4th grade, but then I would go for 6 months, quit, a couple years later pick it up, and same kind of thing. But yeah, I think without frets that would be a lot more difficult. So
I definitely find that though, just with instruments, it's hard, because I play 4, I'll be playing 1 for a week, and I'm really into guitar this week. And then the next week, I'm just so into piano, and I'm looking up all these cool songs to learn. And then, I don't know, it's just so random. I'll never be play all of them in one day.
Yeah.
Which I probably should. But I just, I get so into just one instrument at a time.
Is it hard to balance, school, whatever other activities you're in, and then playing each of these instruments and singing? Is that hard to juggle all that?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I like keeping myself busy, but it's definitely hard because, I don't know, I have a standard for myself.
Yeah.
And I want to be good at these instruments, but it takes a lot of discipline, because after just doing schoolwork and really focusing on that, and then extra curricular activities, sometimes I just want a nap.
Understandable.
And I'm I should be improving my music somehow, and
sure,
it's hard, but it's good.
Yeah, definitely. What activities are you involved with at school?
Right now, I am a cheerleader, and it's my first year doing that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I was I want to try something new. Never done this before. Yeah. So I'm doing that, and we're in basketball season.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, I'm actually in our school's high school musical production.
Very cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a fun show to pick. But I'm just a cheerleader in the show because I can't be, anything more because it's just there's so much time commitment for both.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
awesome though. Yeah, kind of spread it wide and cast
Yeah.
the net a little bit involved in everything. That's cool. Is your family musically inclined?
I think so. I mean, my mom and dad were both in madrigals in high school.
Okay, yeah.
And my sisters, I think, they can sing. Like, my oldest sister, Abby, she actually started singing before I did.
Yeah.
And she would sing at different competitions too. And
Very cool.
I think she just stopped, or she just faded out and wasn't as passionate.
Yeah.
And
It happened.
yeah, but they both have voices and like they can sing.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I think it all comes really from my mom's dad, my papa.
Mm-hmm.
He has a great voice, and he used
That's
to
awesome.
sing in churches a lot.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the opposite of my family. My brothers and I cannot sing, and my parents cannot sing, and so that's really cool. Do you still take lessons or anything?
I take voice and piano and now violin. I don't take guitar anymore, and I never took ukulele, but yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Is there a favorite style you like to sing in, like country or the pop songs, or what do you like to do?
Yes, it's honestly so weird because I have different moods for things, but I really like performing country and singing that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's so fun. I have so many artists though that I like to. I've been really getting into the classic country lately.
Sure.
And so I love like Dolly Parton and I'm blanking on her name.
That's been
Patsy Cline. Oh
Yeah.
yes. And sorry. and I also love jazz. Like just
Very
like
cool,
that kind of, I don't know, like Nora Jones and
Very cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
vibey stuff.
Yeah.
Coffee shop.
I like
to
it.
say.
Yeah. That's very cool. So you mentioned a couple of like the inspirations. Do you think you sound like any one artist more than another, or does it change over time when you have different moods and everything?
Honestly, I don't know. I think this is kind of going on a trail, but I've been told a lot that I sound like the old Miley Cyrus when I sing.
Okay.
So
that's a pretty good comparison. She's
yeah.
got a good voice, so.
I mean, I'm like, I'll take the compliment. But
yeah, definitely. So what do your friends say? Have they always known about like this side of you, I guess, or have you always been kind of the singer or musician of the friend group?
I feel like since I kind of started at a young age, I guess I've always been the one that sings, or and I don't know. I saw that later in my life. It did kind of, I don't know. It kind of became a conflict, just in like, instead of hanging out with friends, I had to go perform.
Yeah.
Just different situations where it not necessarily got in the way, but just like what I had a passion for, and like I wanted to do singing, and so I had to sacrifice things.
Right.
So I did see that got in the way, but honestly, my friends are really understanding about it.
Yeah, that's good.
Nice.
That's important.
Yeah.
I think it could be anything though, singing, sports, anything. Somebody that's like driven and
Completely.
like on that path to greatness. I mean, yeah, it can be hard to balance that. It's cool to have friends that support that. So there's a couple sides to music, I guess. So there's kind of the recording side, because you do some personal songs that you've written, and then performing. So can you just talk about the recording process a little bit, and like writing songs, what that looks like?
Of course. I recorded my first song when I was 12 years old. Actually, last
That's
night.
awesome.
I think it was last night. I set up my Alexa that I
Yeah?
got for Christmas, and we were playing my songs, and my first song I ever recorded came on, and my voice was so tiny. It was so tiny, but anyway, yeah, so the process that we go through usually is, I guess I'll go in order. So how I write a song, it like is different each time. because I usually will sit down and I'll like play a chord progression that I like, and I will write the lyrics and chords together. Because I don't know, I think it's more difficult to do just the whole sound of it than the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to just go with it. I don't know, that's how I think. And so I usually write it all together at one time. And it depends on really, I guess, how inspired I am at the time, or because sometimes I can get a really good phrase and then I can't find the chorus itself, so I'll have to like wait months, and then I'm like, oh, okay, this could be cool. And but then there was like been songs where I've written in a day or just in a couple of hours, just because it's just like it came so naturally. And I don't know, I think it just really depends on the inspiration, because I know people like say like with writing, like just make yourself do it, sit down and write, and I do believe that like that does help you improve.
Yeah.
But I also kind of believe like I think it's cool when I get little inspiration stuff and I'm like, oh, that sounds cool, and then I sit down and write. And I don't know, it's also very difficult with life, because I don't know, it gets in the way. And then I remember in middle school I would be in class and I would get a little tune in my head and I'm like, that sounds really cool, and we couldn't just leave, so I was like, can I go to the bathroom? And then I would go record it. But yeah, it was funny. But anyway, sorry, I didn't even talk about the recording process, but
no, you're fine. Yeah, I want to hear all of it. So
no, you're good. The recording process, basically I would write the song, then we got in contact with this guy named Carter Green in Wellington, Kansas, which is actually where our family lives, my mom's sister. So the area was familiar, which is nice. But yeah, we found out who he was through a songwriter actually that wrote the first song I sang and recorded.
Very cool. Yeah.
And anyway, we went in and they were the producers like in the beginning of all of my recordings, and they would go through and make the track. That way I could just come in and sing along to it, and you just do like 5 takes maybe, and then you piece together the best parts of each song, which is kind of cool.
I learned about that.
But later, like as I've gotten older, they kind of let me help with the producing part, which is kind of cool.
That is cool, yeah.
To like see how it comes together. It does take longer, but it's cooler because I had like a say in how the music was.
Yeah, and it makes you a little more well-rounded, and you kind of know every aspect of it. It's cool.
Definitely.
And the producer, I mean, like Aaron said, I mean, I'm gonna definitely give him a shout out because he's so amazing as far as a songwriter, and really has been such a guide. And what Carter and Aaron have provided Mollie is just very approachable way of recording, so that when then she went and did some songs in Nashville and recorded there was definitely she had just enough experience, I mean not a tremendous amount, but that it made it to be where she kind of knew, even though they do it really quite different with live musicians throughout on each part of the song, but she was able to find the flat notes, find the sharp notes, and tell the engineer she wanted that to be changed, just because of that sense of confidence that she'd been given.
That's really cool, yeah. It might have been harder to do if she'd never done it before,
Exactly. And they were great, just guides, and it's very, like you said, it's very different than the Nashville scene, because I got to record once in Nashville, how long ago was that?
When you were 14, so 2 years ago.
Okay, 2 years ago. And it was great. I loved all the people working, and the band themselves, they were really very nice. But it's very different because in Wellington, I can be hands-on. And honestly, I mean, in Nashville, they are professionals, and so you can't really
tell them how to do their job.
Well, I would say Carter's a big time professional.
I know. I just realized that is not what I meant. I'm not saying that Carter's not a professional. I just don't exactly know. Their stanzas in Nashville are like different in that way where they just don't let you.
I just think that it's just a different approach.
Yeah,
It
makes
is a
sense.
different
Yeah,
approach.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So is it difficult? I always wondered about like if you read the lyrics or chords first. So that's interesting. It's kind of on the same time. I always wondered about that. But is it hard to ever like, I don't know, maybe you have a tune or like a chord sequence or something stuck in your head to not be like, okay, I feel like I've heard somewhere either like inspiration versus something you might have heard before. You know what I mean? Because there's so much music out there now. Is it hard to ever distinguish?
I don't know. There's been countless times where I'll like write a chord progression and I'm like, oh, this is so good. I'm like that. This is great. And so I like start writing and singing, and I'm like, but it sounds really familiar.
Right, exactly,
and I don't know why. And then I find the song that's like the exact same as mine, but with different lyrics.
Right.
And I don't know. I've always kind of had the initiative to like stop writing it because I'm like, I want to write something original and different than that's been written. But there are so many similar chord progressions.
I was about to say, there's only so many
Honestly,
combinations.
There's so many, there's so many of the same stuff. Like, have you seen those videos where like you play the same thing and you can find like 10 songs?
It's like the top 50 pop songs or something.
Yes.
It's the same 3 chords or something.
So I've been trying like lately just to keep writing and see what happens because honestly there's so much similarity.
Yeah. I think it's interesting too between how you said like making yourself sit down and write versus like when you are inspired to write. I think that's a hard balance too, but there's a book called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, and it's all about like I mean artists of any kind, but like making yourself do the work and sit down every day and do the work and greatness will come out of it. But again, it's hard to balance between doing that and like if you make yourself do it and you start to hate it, then where do you go with that?
Yeah,
so,
definitely. And I don't know, I found that when I used to perform a lot and it was like, I don't know, not really ruining my social life, but I couldn't go hang out with friends. I had to go sing, prepare for a concert at least. It's so fun, but it comes to a point where I stress out so easily. Like I over stress about like everything. It's a problem. But so I began to like not enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's hard because the preparation always stresses me out and I don't enjoy that. But as soon as I get on stage and I'm prepared, I'm having a blast.
Right.
And I like have a sense of peace. So no matter, I always try to remember that feeling because there were always countless times where I was like, I don't know if I should do this anymore because it's not bringing me joy. But then as soon as I would perform, it would be joy. So it's just, it's the process I've had to learn that, just if I don't do music, there's going to be something else that's going to be hard.
Right.
So.
Yeah, people say like if you find what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Be like, it's still going to be work. You could love it, but it's still going to be work to get to where you want to go.
I think so too.
I think the challenge too is just your age. I mean that's the piece. I mean the 100%. Second that people are done with high school, then I think it'll be easier.
Yeah.
Because you'll see people working.
For
if
sure.
you will.
Yeah.
It's just a different approach. I think it's
it is
being
starting
in school
younger,
piece.
harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, to answer your question regarding like how you do kind of check your songs, if you will, because there are so many songs that sound the same. That's why working with adults, honestly,
people
and other people, like kind of, here's a song, what do you think? Well, what do you think about this? Just some ideas.
Yeah.
And allowing for that feedback and flexibility is key, honestly.
Yeah.
Because they just know so much more.
Right.
Honestly.
They've been in the industry longer and
Exactly.
Completely.
So I think just being open to that.
Taking the wisdom from them,
Yeah.
having them guide you.
Yes, for sure.
Definitely.
So what is your biggest song so far? And then I want to talk a little bit about you maybe haven't cracked the charts here, but in Europe you've had some success. So I want to hear about that a little bit.
Yeah. When you say biggest song, Like
Whatever
when-
you mean. Whatever you mean. Highest on the chart, most successful, most listens, whatever that means to you.
Wow.
And where is your music, by the way? I've listened on
Yeah,
Spotify,
no,
but where else is the music?
It's on iTunes, Spotify, CD Baby,
Amazon Music.
YouTube, Amazon Music.
Very cool. So yeah, kind
Mhm.
of all over the place, yeah.
Which is nice. The most, I'm trying to think about my biggest song. I mean, what would you?
I think Gamer's getting a lot of play.
Gamer.
It's your first one to release to radio.
Okay.
So
I just didn't. Gamer was. I wrote it now maybe a year ago. But yeah, it's like you said, it's the first one I released to the radio. And that one was actually one of the songs I wrote in a day.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny how that works.
I know. But yeah, that's also the one that we submitted to for the Europe kind of. It's this radio producer who has it on his station, and he plays it every. How often did he play
so
it?
he's a radio promoter,
Oh,
and it goes out to hundreds of DJs across
Very cool.
Europe.
Yeah.
okay.
And so, you know, just to kind of explore, the country music is not a ton over in Europe.
Yeah.
And so, you can release music and not be a signed artist because Mollie's not really signed, you know, and
Right.
we played on the radio in the United States. It's a little more tricky.
Yeah.
Based on that, she has been on some AM radio, but
Yeah.
you know, so anyway, and then what's great is that then we get feedback from the DJs. So
Oh,
from
that's cool,
Australia, from England, from Germany, from all over.
Yeah.
And so we, you know, just actually about 2 weeks ago got that feedback, and then they rank her
Okay.
based on that. And honestly, the feedback was great.
Yeah.
And we just got contacted. Different DJs will contact us. So like a gal or they were playing all female country artists.
Yeah.
Just 2 days ago, reached out and just said, hey, play Mollie's music now. I mean, and you know, we don't know those people.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Which
That
is
is
really
cool.
cool. And you know, right there in the same line as Mollie is Miranda Lambert. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, all right, this
Yeah,
works.
doing something right. Yeah, that's really
I
cool.
know.
So
it was fun.
yeah.
I think another like big song that this has been. It was the first one I ever recorded, which is When You Dream Big, and that was the song that was written by Aaron Sidwell.
Very cool.
And yeah, it was awesome because it came from like a 6th grade project.
That's cool.
And we were building water filtration systems, and so we were basically sending over water filtration systems to families and kids in Nairobi, Kenya.
Okay.
And yeah, it was really cool experience, and I didn't want it to end, and so I thought it'd be cool to have a song for it, but at the time I didn't really write.
Yeah.
And I hadn't started that journey.
Right.
And so, yeah, it was perfect that we met Aaron and we just told him kind of what we wanted to hear out of the song, and it's been a huge part of my life, I think, because I don't know, it's just I feel like I have a connection with just that whole organization.
Yeah,
and,
that's really cool.
just the whole aspect of dreaming big. Every time I hear it, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, when you dream big. Anyway, but yeah, and so basically that happened, and then all of the proceeds from like people that buy it on iTunes go towards like
Very cool.
the water filtration systems, which is awesome. I feel like that's been the most impactful song that's ever come up. Like,
That's really cool.
so that's
Is that the name of the organization? What is the name of that?
of the life straws.
Yeah, all that.
Well, I mean,
Is there?
Honestly,
it goes to a school called
Okay.
Cheery Children
Okay,
Education
cool, yeah.
Center.
I don't know if there's a specific organization, but it's just like
Okay, very cool. Yeah.
proceeds
Well, it
for
goes
the
to
life straws. Yes, I know, but it's like to the
the school. I mean, so what it is that through those projects in 6th grade, then they created community life water filters for the school.
Yeah, yeah.
And then what happened when Mollie said, I think I want to continue this, we reached out to the headmaster and talked to him, and they were like, they need clean water when they go home.
Right.
And so When You Dream Big, this song When You Dream Big, then provides these life straws or these water filters for the families.
Yeah.
So so
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a really good cause.
it's hard to get a lot of money because downloads are not very much. You don't get very much money from them. So it takes a lot of downloads.
Yeah.
But we have sent money over, and the kids have
awesome.
received them, and then they send us pictures back. So
Very cool. That's rewarding.
It's
Yeah.
really
yeah, it's good. It's good. And then we did a book, a children's book.
Yes.
Awesome.
That
My dad illustrated.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was. We thought it would be just like another good way to raise money.
Yeah.
It was cool. For a while, Aaron and I would kind of put on these. I don't know what you call them. I guess just like author visits. Thank you. So basically, he would kind of tell about the book and tell about like our passion and like what we really want out of it. And then I would play the song.
Very cool.
And then we would sell like the books and the CDs and everything, and that kind of helped too.
Yeah,
And we did a couple of those, and the books. It's just another great way to earn more money for that.
Sure. Yeah, and it's a great way to use your gifts. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What makes America so much harder? Is it just amount of music, like to crack into? Is it just the amount of people, all the different? I mean, do you have to be signed, or is it possible to do it independent, or what does that look like?
Honestly, I think there's so many different ways to approach it today that it's like confusing to hone in on like the exact thing that you're looking for. And also, I felt, at least when I went to Nashville, I felt like everybody wanted the exact same thing that I did. And so that's hard to kind of see. It's hard to all want the same thing because in my mind, I feel like I'm very like practical, and I'm like, I want a job, I want to actually make money. So,
Valid.
yeah, so I was like, I don't know how that's gonna work. And I don't know. Lately, I feel like it's not about. I don't know. I don't know if I really want to be like signed, or I don't know what I want really with it. And I feel like it's more just about fulfillment and like what you're doing.
For sure.
I think the industry is really hard.
Yeah.
Because today it's not mostly about talent. It's more about connections
I think
and
that's a lot
the
of
price
different,
you're willing to pay and all that.
For sure.
Which
Yeah, I think that what we've always talked about is it is such a hard industry to be in. And if that's your passion, then like you said, then it will be just where you go and what you do. But if you're doing it for the right reasons, then you're gonna be successful. You're gonna be
completely
have that sense of joy about it, and just really keep getting up every day and working hard because you want to be, even though how they're going to determine if you're going to make it or not make it, if you will. I do think the industry's tough, and we only know a little bit about it in the respect of but I think they've just changed a lot of things. You used to be you could go to the radio station and hand them your CD or talk to them, right?
And now
and I
it's
just
not
don't
that way.
think it's that way as much. So I think it's hard to know how to navigate it, and then trust.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's a better outlook to try to focus on that side instead of, I mean, obviously you want to make it or whatever make it means, but controlling what you can control. Like here's something kind of negative about, okay, they won't sign me. I put out another song and nobody listens. It's like you can only control